Yo, what's up, Beatbox? It's your boy Stitch, back again with another GBB25 solo battle. Today we have Den versus Wing. Now, I remember this battle very well because the first round was insanely surprising, and the second round by a certain someone was insane. Like absolutely insane. Like, I remember him doing it like it just happened yesterday. So, I'm excited. Let's get right into this. Yo!
And I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1 in 3.
Let's go.
Something different. Too many times I
BBU, let's go.
the day you walked away. I saw it in your eyes. All the moments we had meant nothing. Listen. All the moments we had meant nothing. All the moments we had meant nothing. All the moments we had meant nothing. Whoa. Sky. 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 All the moments we had meant nothing.
I'm gonna be honest, when I heard this live, I was surprised. I did not expect Den to use this routine as a battle routine. And yeah, he remixed it. I don't know what word you guys would use, but he definitely changed it for the stage. You can tell, for example, like the first drop, a lot of pauses with the power snare, the right? And then even in the end with the filler with the the D-low kick and all. So he definitely changed it for the stage. Just my personal opinion, and this is coming from me. You guys know me, I'm the beatboxer that uses a lot of pauses. Like my beatboxing, I have a lot of empty spaces in my wildcards and stuff like that. So doing empty spaces a lot, like what Den did in this round, is something that I do a lot. Personally, I don't think it suited him in my opinion, which is weird for me to say because this is like my style and I like doing it. And it's nice when other people pull it off as well. But over here, there was a bit of awkward energy.
Moments we had but no.
Okay, don't get me wrong. This sounds super dope, especially with like those notes that he's hitting. And he's doing it pretty effortlessly, which is annoying. He makes it look and sound so easy. Now, I can't do inward bass, but if I was to kind of replicate it, it would probably sound like something like that, right? I would have done that as like a pre-drop and then go into a main drop where I kind of like filled in the spaces. So probably something like all the moments we had but nothing. All the moments we something like that, right? But instead of a PF snare, he would go like with the snare that he used. I think that would have sounded more full and less awkward. Just my opinion.
Switch!
And I drop it like you want.
Nice.
And I drop it like it.
I'm gonna be honest here. You know how I said that vibration bass did not work on the GBB25 sound system? That goes for everyone, whether it was Codfish, Inertia, Wing, Osis. nobody's vibration bass was working well in GBB25. All right, like I'm sorry, there was not a single person in GBB25 that did vibration bass and it actually sounded good. Like every time someone did vibration bass, it was so empty. When I say empty, I don't mean like it was soft. I mean like when vibration bass is done through the system, it's supposed to be loud, yes, but like there's a lot of different textures in vibration bass. I would say probably 2 or 3. And in GBB25, it felt like only 2 textures were being picked up, and like the lower frequencies and the mid frequencies of the vibration bass did not come through very well. So this drop, although in video, sounds very nice and clean, live it was super mid. I'm not like, that was so sad to hear, because I know Wing has a dope vibration bass, but live it was super mid. And it's worse here because now he's using the vibration bass again, but instead of a long, he's going like that, like a short period. So now you can't even hear the bass that much compared to the previous drop. So it got worse here. That filler was very nice though. Simple but very effective live. That was very nice. Noise.
I drop it like it.
Drop it like it's hot. So you know how I said in the beginning of this video that round 1 was pretty surprising? This is what I was talking about, because when I was like looking at the top 8 battles, right, I was like telling myself, okay, I think Kaji is gonna beat Codfish, I think Pac-Max is gonna beat Osis, I think Napalm was gonna beat Black Row, and I think Wing is gonna beat Den. It's not because Den is a terrible battler. Den is super good at battling. Like I heard him live battling at the Florida Beatbox Battle 23. Den is amazing. It's just that Wing is just on a whole nother level sometimes. And I expected this to be a clean sweep, but Wing's first round had like almost no impact. I say almost because the fillers in his round made it more interesting, but the drops, like every single drop was super mid in the first round. And that's why in round 1, I was like, yo, Den takes the first round. Like it's so obvious that Den took the first round. Despite it being obvious though, like if this was Wing's first round, this is Den's first round. So not a big gap, about this big of a gap. And I was surprised because I was like, yo, Den might win this whole thing. And I was rooting for Wing, right? But now I might be wrong again, because I was wrong about Napalm versus Black Roll. Black Roll beat Napalm, right? And I thought Napalm was going to win, but then Black will beat him. So that's awesome. And I was like, yo, maybe Den will beat Wing. So that's why the first round surprised me so much.
Switch.
All right. Fade away. 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 Can you feel it?
Very nice. Disgusting.
Wing.
Nice. Nice counter there. this was not working. So what he was doing over here was his inward bass, which is insanely loud. And then in between each bar, he was doing a D-low kick, just one. Now the D-low kick is actually a very loud sound, right? So this transition to like this is supposed to have a lot of impact, but his inward bass is so loud, it made his D-low kick sound soft. So unfortunately, that did not have the impact that I think he thought it was going to have. That's what I'm assuming. All right, which is pretty unfortunate.
Pretend.
Nice.
Fade away. Fade away.
So yeah, in the second round, Den did Fade Away, a very well-known round. That's why if you notice, like the crowd was like mainly Japanese, but a lot of people still knew the lyrics and they sang along. I personally feel that this round could have been better if he didn't go with the counter or if he went straight into the counter. So what he did was wing, and then he goes no. Forgive me, I cannot do inward bass. Okay, but what he did was wing, and then he goes like he goes to transition, and then he drops the drop again, but he does the same thing again with the right. So this, remember how I said in Remix's elimination, he started the elimination with that, and then the drop was also. So now the intro and the drop for Remix's elim have the same impact. It's the same thing here. He did a setup for the wing counter where he went and now it's inward bass with right, and then the real counter, which was the drop, was him doing the same inward bass thing, but the only difference is instead of a D-low kick, he does right. So now there's not much difference, right? The setup and the drop sounds almost the same. If I were him, I would just not do the counter at all, just do his own drop. Or if he really wanted to do the counter, I would have went straight into it. So like maybe like a small and then like that. That's straight to the point, because I felt like the setup he made for the counter killed the counter in a bad way. So that's one thing he could have done better. Just like go right into it.
Switch.
No, I came here to battle.
Very good counter, by the way. Nice vibe here. Very nice setup. So this is what I mean by a good setup. So like you notice over here in the beginning, he uses and a BMG snare, right? And then he brings the beat back and then he changes it into a right? So now there's a big difference between and live. For those of you who have never been to a live beatbox event of this caliber, there is a big difference between and live. There was a like major contrast. So the setup was like here and then the drop was here. Meanwhile for Dan, the setup was here and the drop was also here. So this is what I mean by a good setup, that Dan could have done something like this, right? Or maybe just go straight into the drop. Very wing. when he did this part live, I'm gonna be real. When you know the sound I just made, the like that. I remember making the same sound live when he did this. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? Like, and the funny thing is, like, this pattern that he's doing, we've seen him do like similar patterns over the past 7 years. So it's nothing new. It's just the way he placed it, the way he structured into it was just so unexpected that when he did it, it was like literal goosebumps over my hands. Like, just so good placement, bro.
What?
Now he's just going all in. Yeah, so this second round sealed the victory for Wing, but it's still up for subjective interpretation. Objectively, Wing was more consistent overall. He got the crowd going more as well. And this is where subjective opinions come into play. I can see some judges being bored of Wing's second round, actually, right? Especially the part with the liberal drop. That's a drop he did last year against Napalm. But as you can see, even though the crowd was not having it this year, right? The Japanese crowd is very honest. If you do something they've heard before, live at least, and then you do it live again, they're not going to act like they've never heard this before, you know? So over here, I think voting for Wing is a very obvious answer. But if some people think Den won, I wouldn't blame them. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think this was the only top 8 battle that was a split decision. I think like what, 3-2 or something like that. Let's see.
Moving on to the next round. Help me out, crowd. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1. Let's see what's happened. In 3.
Okay, 4-1. So Trongbao voted for Den, right? So you can see split decision, right? Overall, Wing just did way better. But if you're the kind of person where you were actually bored at the second half of Wing's round, you will probably vote for Den, and it makes sense, right? I voted for Wing live. I just felt like Wing was more consistent and he had me going more compared to Den. I felt like if Den just showed a little bit more, I would have voted for Den actually. So like in the first round, he did that drop from that very famous routine of his where it was like that drop. I think that's a good drop for a wild card or like a BBU type competition, but for like a live battle, I would not have done that. I would have done another complex drop or something, you know. I think if he just did stuff like that, like just showed a little bit more, I think he would have won. Because in my personal opinion, I might be wrong. Then if you're watching this, you can let me know. I felt like Dan was holding back. I don't know why it felt like way, because I felt like Dan had more to show. I might be wrong. All right, Dan, if you're watching this, please let me know. But I felt like he was holding back. He definitely had more to show in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think won, Wing or Dan? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Feels like nothing.